Welcome back to the Victor Gonzalez Show, and today we're going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion, are one of the scariest teams, not only in the AFC, but in the NFL. The reasoning for that is how depleted they were on their entire team, from their offense and their defense, due to injuries, with Lamar Jackson being the biggest name, and guys like J.K. Dobbins, Ronnie Stanley, Marcus Peters, other guys who had either gotten hurt during the year like Lamar Jackson did, or in the preseason just like J.K. Dobbins did. It's one of those things when you look at this roster, it has a lot of depth at a lot of positions. Even quarterback, you have Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley, two guys who actually played very well in both of their starts last year. Lamar Jackson obviously being the starter because of his former MVPs, his playoff wins, while Tyler Huntley actually looked very good in his games against the Packers and other teams that he did play against when Lamar Jackson was hurt. Now looking at the running backs behind him, you've got J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Mike Davis, and Justice Hill. Four guys who could be starters, or three guys for sure who have either been starters or could be starters, with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and Mike Davis being those three, and Justice Hill, who is a very good number 4 running back. At fullback, you have Patrick Ricard, who's shown to be one of the best fullbacks in all of football, behind guys like Kyle Juszczyk, Alec Ingold. And then you have a tight end, Mark Andrews, who's a top 5 tight end for sure. You can put him up at number 4 or wherever you want, behind guys like Travis Kelce, George Kittle, maybe even Darren Waller, and then slotting him in at number 4. Then you have guys like Nick Boyle, Isaiah Likely, and Charlie Coiler, who will be fighting for tight end number 2 through 4, which, because of the way the Ravens run their offense, they'll carry all 4. And then you're looking at their O-line, which is Ronnie Stanley, who's one of the best left tackles in all of football. You've got Ben Cleveland at left guard. You've got Tyler Lindenbaum, who seems to be a very good prospect out of Iowa this year. You have your right guard, Kevin Zeitler. And then you have Morgan Moses as your right tackle. At your receiver position, you have Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, and Tylan Wallace. It doesn't seem like a very good group, which is why I would look for them to add guys, whether that's Will Fuller, Odell Beckham Jr., or another free agent on the market who they could bring in and add to give Lamar Jackson another weapon on a cheap 1-year contract that would actually help out Lamar a lot. Since Lamar in his tenure has lost Marquise Brown and hasn't really gotten much help that most young quarterbacks have gotten around the league. That's why I think the Ravens are maybe a piece or two at the receiving core position away from having a really good passing offense, and not only having one of the best rushing offenses which they've had from the beginning of Lamar Jackson's career, with Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator.